So, my first question today is this new or has it always been like this? Because just recently I noticed that for some resonators, the tacit mark is in fact animated. And one thing to notice about all the tacit marks, animated or not, is that they are all black. They have no color. Now, I know we've seen Vovos glow sometimes. This is usually when Abby is about to pop out and probably eat something like a 12-course meal of a Threnodian or something like that. But still, under normal circumstances, is just black, even Vovo. There's only one exception to that. Yangyang Xuanling, the new version of Yangyang. She has a blue tacit mark. Now, the original Yangyang is a black tacit mark like everybody else, but the new one is blue, the only tacit mark to have any color at all. And this has happened during her transformation in 3.5 to become the votary of the voice, which is quite interesting. Now, a votary is, and I'll just check my notes, a person bound by vows to live a life of religious worship or service, of a person who is fervently devoted to, for example, a leader or to an ideal, a faithful follower. So, if that's the votary part, what is the voice? Well, it's not a sentinel because Rovo can see and hear sentinels, but they couldn't see or hear the voice. Only Yangyang could see it. And that put me in mind of, one thing straight away. I thought on the Logos. In the beginning was the Word, and that is the Logos. And this is also found in the creation part in Christianity in terms of, and God said, let there be light, and there was light. In other words, things were spoken into existence. So this is kind of hinting that perhaps the voice is a creator of everything in the game world. There are also other creation beliefs that describe the universe as being created when God exhales. This is found in certain interpretations of Hinduism, particularly the concept of Brahman, where creation is associated with divine breath or sound. And of course, Yangyang, divine breath, breath is wind, even speaking, even voice is wind. And Yangyang, of course, was always connected to the wind, and that's her resonance ability. So if the voice is the creator of everything in the game universe, then they would be from outside the universe. Whereas Sentinels are very much a construction inside the universe. They're created by Rover's home civilization. They are part of, contained within the universe, which appears to be different for the voice. Now, I did make an interesting mistake. That's because I've watched Dogma and Good Omens, and that led me to think, oh yes, that's the voice of God. That's the Metatron. But a little bit more research shows that this is not what the Metatron is, but it did turn out to be quite interesting, in my opinion. For one thing, the Metatron is portrayed as being a celestial scribe. Now, I should say Metatron doesn't appear in any canonical texts, only in Apocrypha and other texts. But they are in the role of a celestial scribe, which is interesting, because one thing Yangyang always does is act as a scribe. She is always writing letters, documenting the events that are going on, very much like a scribe. So I found that interesting, even though I'd come here by accident. But I also found another thing interesting in certain creation myths and certain belief systems. Metatron was seen as a very powerful angel who had originally been Enoch. You'll find this in the books of Enoch. Again, Apocrypha, they're not canonical. And in there, Enoch was somebody who pleased God. They lived faithfully, righteously, they were a good person. And so God basically took them away. They didn't die, they were transformed into the Metatron. And this makes Metatron the only angel who once was human. And of course, we know Yangyang was once human. Sure, she was a resonator, but resonators are pretty common. She wasn't a Sentinel's resonator, which is rarer. So, I mean, Yangyang was kind of ordinary. But now she's been selected by the voice and has been transformed into something unique that we've never seen before in the game, as we can see by the fact that her tacit mark is the only one that has color. Well, that's it for this one. Again, appreciate your thoughts in the comments below. Tell me why you think I'm wrong, where you think it might be right, or just whether you think this is an interesting little tale to spin. And I've cleaned the coffee stains out of the inside of my mug. Subscribe if you want to see how long that lasts. We'll see you next time.